Hey guys, Dr. Decks here. Today we are on a new project in Gig Harbor, Washington, and we are moving all of our lumber and framing off the driveway and into the backyard. So we thought it might be a good time to show you guys how we actually grade our lumber. There's a lot of you out there that don't do this professionally or that have never built a deck or have never touched a stick of wood, and we thought it might be good information for you. And if you get something out of this video, please don't forget to click that subscribe button, as we're trying to get our 17% average up to 18%. Let's go for that. So basically, when you're building a deck, you want everything to be as flat as possible across the plane. That's what the definition, one of the definitions of deck is an equal level plane, P-L-A-I-N, like flat, okay? So for us to be able to make that happen, when we're using traditional pressure treated hemlock, a lot of boards are not exactly straight. A lot of them will have a crown in them. A crown is what we call when a board bows, and we call the crown up. So the board will bow up, and so we try to grade all that information as we're stacking our lumber in a pile, like right here. We're gonna set all these together and we're gonna crown everything up. If you don't crown a board up, what happens is, let's say all the joists are running towards you like this, and you have one board that's crowned up, and then if you have one board that's crowned down, and then your next board's crowned up, then your decking is gonna go like this. And we try to avoid that type of motion in the deck as much as possible because we want it to be flat. Okay, so we have a board over here that we've rejected out of our grading, and you can kind of see if you look at it. And the way I grade lumber is I'll take this board and I'll look down the line. I'll look down the line from this angle, put my eye right on this corner of the board, and you can see how much crown this particular board has, and it's very bad. So usually we'll cut this into blocking or something like that because it's just not acceptable. It has too much crown. I would say this board has almost probably 3/4 of an inch to an inch. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go grab a string line. We're gonna show you an example by pulling a straight edge against this board, and we'll show you how much crown it actually has. That's over an inch of crown in that one board. You can really see it now. So we try to avoid using this type of lumber. We ordered like 65 of these for this job, which is over a unit, or maybe 64s in a unit. So we can afford to kick out some of this lumber. Let's just say, even if I cut this in half, we'd still have a 1/2 inch of crown and 8 feet, which is unacceptable, in my opinion. Let me tie this off and let's see how much crown that is. That's about 1.25 inches, I would say. It's 1 inch. So we have about 1 inch of crown and 16 feet. So that's what grading does, is when you are able to look at a board and go, oof, that's really bad, and already know, we'll kick it to the side. Usually there's just a slight bow where we might be able to pick that up on camera, maybe not. And then that's okay, because we know that once we get our beam set, we can actually pull it down to level. But this one, we would really have to use a clamp and really make it work. So either we'll cut this into shorter blocks or we'll just return it for a credit. That's basically what we do. Now, once we have all of our joists over here with them all crowned up, then we'll go ahead and grade our frame. When grading our frame, what we're looking for is the highest board, the thickest board, because our lumber can change in thickness from 7 1/8 inches to 7 3/4 of an inch. So it can vary up to 5/8 of an inch in thickness. Again, you'll get this kind of a wavy motion in your deck if you just start installing this like it is. So what we like to do is we'll take a level and we'll come in here, and I can see right now, I can see a really high joist right here. Okay, I can tell that that board is like super high. So that's probably the thickest joist we're gonna have in this entire unit. So we'll pull that joist first and we'll put it to the side, and then that becomes our thickest joist, and then we'll pick the next thickest one. And it's just visually, I can tell right here, here's a high one, here's a high one, there's a couple high ones over here, and then there's some low ones. So what we're trying to do is just get an average thickness going from right to left or left to right, so that when we install all of our joists over the beams, we have 2 beam sets in this particular deck. So we have the house where we mount to, go over one beam and land on another beam. So we want to try to keep this motion from happening. And then if there's any high spots after that, we may take a planer, a hand planer, and plane out the high spots, and then we G-tape the deck. That's how we grade our framing on every single deck. It starts by crowning the boards, and then we grade them to thickness, and then we install them, and then we go from there. All right, so we've got all of our framing stacked and crowned, and we're gonna go ahead and grade a little bit of it for you just so you kind of see what we do and how we do it. Some people say this is a waste of time, but I can guarantee you it's not. I suggest anybody that's doing this professionally or first timer, or do-it-yourselfer, doctors, lawyers, and attorneys, whoever you are, grade your frame, man. It'll save you time in the future as you're building this deck, and it'll become more flatter. Remember, we just want an equal plane, everything flat, okay? So that's what we're gonna do now, is take all the highest boards out, and we're gonna start stacking them in a row. It's gonna be high to low. Guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned a little bit of something about how to grade framing. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified when I'm putting out new content. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, and we'll hit you back. All right, guys, have a great day.